Today we delve into the art of non-reaction, the power of silence, and the wisdom of quietly cutting off that which no longer serves us. Now you might ask, Alan, what do you mean by don't react, cut them off silently? Well, my friends, let's begin by understanding what reaction truly is. You see, in this vast universe of ours, we are constantly bombarded by stimuli, events, and people that demand our attention, our energy, and our very essence. And more often than not, we find ourselves caught in a web of automatic responses, knee-jerk reactions that arise from the depths of our conditioned mind. But what if I told you that these reactions, these immediate responses to the world around us, are nothing more than illusion? What if I suggested that the very act of reacting is a form of bondage, a chain that keeps us tethered to the whims and fancies of the external world? You see, when we react, we are no longer in control of our own lives. We become mere puppets, dancing to the tunes played by others. Our emotions, our thoughts, our very being becomes a product of our environment, rather than a manifestation of our true selves. Now imagine for a moment a still lake on a calm day. The surface is like a mirror reflecting the sky and the sky-rounding landscape with perfect clarity. This, my friends, is the state of non-reaction. It is a state of being where we are fully present, we're fully aware, yet completely unmoved by the ripples that life throws our way. But then someone throws a stone into this tranquil lake. What happens? Ripples form, disturbing the perfect reflection. These ripples are like our reactions. They distort our perception, they cloud our judgment, and they take us away from our center. Now, conventional wisdom might tell you to fight these ripples, to resist them with all your might. But I say to you, my dear friends, that resistance is futile. For in resisting, we create even more ripples, more disturbances in our being. Instead, I invite you to consider a different approach. What if, instead of reacting, instead of creating more ripples, we simply observe? What if we remain still like the depths of the lake, unmoved by the surface disturbances? This, my friends, is the essence of don't react. Cut them off silently. It's not about suppressing your emotions or denying your experiences. No, it's about transcending them. It's about rising above the fray and observing life from a higher vantage point. You see, when we don't react, when we choose to remain silent in the face of provocation, we are not being passive. So on the contrary, we are exercising the highest form of power, the power of choice. We are choosing not to be controlled by external circumstances. We are choosing to maintain our inner peace, our inner balance. Now let's explore the second part of our theme, cut them off silently. This might sound harsh at first, even cruel, but I assure you it is anything but. You see, in this journey of life, we often accumulate baggage, relationships, habits, beliefs that no longer serve our highest good. And more often than not, we cling to these outdated aspects of our lives out of fear, out of a misplaced sense of loyalty, or simply out of habit. But my dear friends, growth requires pruning. Just as a gardener must cut away dead branches to allow new growth, we too must cut away that which no longer contributes to our flourishing. And here's the key, we must do it silently. Why silently, you ask? Because true transformation doesn't need fanfare. It doesn't need drama or grand gestures. True change happens in the quiet moments, in the silent decisions we make day after day. When we cut someone or something off silently, we are not doing it out of spite or anger. We are doing it out of love. Love for ourselves, love for our growth, love for the highest potential we can achieve. It's a recognition that every moment we spend engaging with that which doesn't serve us is a moment taken away from our true path. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but Alan, isn't this selfish? Aren't we supposed to help others, to be there for them? And to that I say, absolutely. We are all interconnected, all part of this grand cosmic dance. But here's the thing, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot truly be there for others if you're constantly depleted by toxic relationships or situations. By choosing not to react, by silently cutting off that which drains us, we are actually putting ourselves in a better position to help others. We are cultivating a wellspring of peace and wisdom within ourselves from which others can drink. Think of it this way, when you're on an airplane and the oxygen mask drop, what do they tell you? Put your own mask on first before helping others. This isn't selfishness, it's practical wisdom. By taking care of ourselves first, by maintaining our own inner peace and balance, we become better equipped to help those around us. Now let's delve deeper into the art of non-reaction. You see, most of us go through life in a state of constant reactivity. Something happens and we immediately respond, often without thought, without consideration. It's as if we're leaves in the wind blown this way and that by every gust that comes our way. But what if we could be more like the mountains? Solid, immovable, watching the winds of change blow around us without being affected. This is the state of non-reaction. It's a state of being where we are fully present, fully aware, yet completely unmoved by the dramas and tribulations of daily life. Now some might say, but Alan, isn't this apathy? Aren't we supposed to care about what happens in the world? And to that I say, caring deeply and reacting impulsively are two very different things. In fact, I would argue that true care, true compassion, can only arise from a state of non-reaction. You see, when we're caught up in our reactions, we're not really seeing the world as it is. We're seeing it through the lens of our own fears, desires, and conditioning. But when we step back, when we choose not to react, we create space. And in that space, we can truly see, truly understand, and truly respond with wisdom of wisdom. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone bumps into you rudely and keeps walking without apologizing. The reactive response might be to get angry, to shout at them, maybe even to push back. But what does this accomplish? It only creates more negativity, more conflict. Now imagine the same scenario, but this time you don't react. You simply observe what happened without judgment. In this space of non-reaction, you might notice that the person who bumped into you looked distressed. Maybe they were in a hurry to get to the hospital. Or perhaps they were simply having a bad day. By not reacting, you've created space for understanding, for compassion. This, my friends, is the power of non-reaction. It allows us to respond to life with wisdom rather than react from conditioning. It enables us to see the bigger picture, to understand the interconnectedness of all things. Now let's turn our attention to the second part of our theme, cut them off silently. This is where many people struggle. We've been conditioned to believe that every relationship, every situation needs closure. We feel the need to explain, to justify, to make grand gestures of departure. But I say to you, my dear friends, that true power lies in silence. When we cut something off silently, we are making a statement more powerful than any words could convey. We are saying, this no longer serves me and I choose to direct my energy elsewhere. Think about it. How many times have you engaged in arguments or discussions that went nowhere? How many times have you tried to explain your position to someone who simply wasn't ready or willing to understand? These exchanges drain us, they deplete our energy, and more often than not, they change nothing. But when we choose to cut off silently, we are reclaiming our power. We are saying, I value my peace, my energy, my time too much to engage in this any longer. But it's not about winning an argument or proving a point. It's about honoring ourselves and our journey. Now, some might say, but isn't this running away from our problems? And to that I say, there's a world of difference between running away and choosing to walk away. Running away is reactive. It comes from a place of fear. Choosing to walk away, to cut off silently, comes from a place of wisdom and self-respect. You see, every moment we spend engaging with people or situations that drain us is a moment we could have spent nurturing ourselves, pursuing our passions, or helping those who are truly ready for our assistance. By cutting off silently, we are making a conscious choice to invest our energy where it will bear the most fruit. Think of it like pruning a tree. A wise gardener doesn't hesitate to cut off branches that are dead or diseased. They don't try to negotiate with these branches or explain why they need to go. They simply cut them off, allowing the tree to direct its energy towards healthy growth. In the same way, by cutting off that which no longer serves us, we allow ourselves to flourish. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Alan, what about forgiveness? Aren't we supposed to forgive those who wrong us? And to that I say, absolutely, forgiveness is crucial for our own peace of mind. But here's the thing, forgiveness doesn't mean we need to keep harmful people or situations in our lives. We can forgive and still choose to walk away. Imagine you're holding a hot coal. It's burning your hand, causing you pain. Forgiveness is like realizing that it's not the coal's fault. It's just doing what coal does. But wisdom is dropping the coal, even as you forgive it. You don't need to hold on to something that's hurting you just because you've forgiven it. This, my friends, is the essence of don't react, cut them off silently. It's about moving through life with grace, with wisdom, with a deep understanding of what truly matters. It's about conserving our energy for that which truly deserves it, for that which aligns with our highest good. Now let's explore how we can practically apply this principle in our daily lives. You see, the art of non-reaction and silent detachment is not something that happens overnight. It's a practice, a skill that we cultivate over time. The first step is awareness. We need to become aware of our reactive patterns. Notice how you respond to different situations. Do you get angry easily? Do you become defensive? Do you withdraw? Simply observing these patterns without judgment is the first step towards changing them. The next step is pause. When you notice yourself about to react, pause. Take a deep breath. Create a space between the stimulus and your response. In this space lies our power to choose. Now, in this space of non-reaction, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is engaging with this person or situation aligned with it good? If the answer is no, then this is where the silent cutting off comes into play. Remember, cutting off silently doesn't mean you need to make a dramatic exit or declaration. It simply means you choose not to engage further. You redirect your energy elsewhere. It could be as simple as not responding to a provocative message or politely excusing yourself from a draining conversation. This practice might feel uncomfortable at first. We're so conditioned to react, to explain ourselves, to seek closure. But I invite you to sit with this discomfort. Observe it without judgment. You'll find that over time, this discomfort transforms into a deep sense of peace and empowerment. You see, when we master the art of non-reaction and silent detachment, we become like the eye of the storm. While chaos may swirl around us, we remain calm, centered, and in control of our own experience. Now let's address a common misconception. Some might think that this approach to life makes us cold or unfeeling, but nothing could be further from the truth. Non-reaction doesn't mean non-feeling. It doesn't mean we become emotionless robots detached from the world around us. On the contrary, when we free ourselves from automatic reactions and draining engagements, we create space for deeper, more authentic feelings. We become more attuned to our true selves, more capable of genuine connection and compassion. Think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where you were completely calm, completely present, perhaps in nature or in a moment of deep meditation? In these moments, don't you feel more alive, more connected to everything around you? This is the state we're aiming for with our practice of non-reaction and silent detachment. You see, reactivity often comes from a place of ego. It's our ego that feels the need to defend, to explain, to prove itself right. But when we let go of this need, when we choose not to react, we transcend the ego. We tap into a deeper part of ourselves, a part that is connected to the universal flow of life. From this place, we can observe life with a sense of wonder and curiosity, rather than judgment and reactivity. We can engage with others from a place of genuine interest and compassion, rather than need or expectation. Now let's talk about the transformative power of silence. In our noisy world, silence has become somewhat of a lost art. We're constantly bombarded with information, with opinions, with the need to express ourselves, but there's immense power in choosing silence. When we cut someone off silently, we're not just avoiding conflict, we're making a powerful statement. We're saying, I value my peace more than I value this engagement. We're choosing to conserve our energy for things that truly matter. Moreover, silence creates space because it creates space for reflection, for understanding, for growth. When we resist the urge to react, to explain, to defend, we create space for new possibilities to emerge. Think about times in your life when silence has been powerful. Perhaps it was in a negotiation where your silence made the other person reveal more than they intended. Or perhaps it was in a moment of conflict where your calm silence diffused a tense situation more effectively than any words could have. This is the power we tap into when we practice don't react, cut them off silently. We're not just avoiding negativity, we're actively creating space for positivity. We're not just protecting our energy, we're cultivating it for higher purposes. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but Alan, what about standing up for what's right? What about speaking out against injustice? And to that I say there's a time for speaking out, absolutely. But even our acts of resistance, our stands against injustice, can come from a place of non-reaction. You see, when we speak out from a place of reactivity, our words often fall on deaf ears. We become part of the noise, part of the conflict. But when we speak from a place of centered calmness, from a place of non-reaction, our words carry more weight. They come from a place of wisdom rather than anger, from compassion rather than resentment. Moreover, by practicing non-reaction and silent detachment in our personal lives, we cultivate the strength and clarity needed to stand up for what's right in the larger world. We develop discernment, the ability to know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to observe. This discernment is crucial in our complex world. It allows us to pick our battles wisely, to invest our energy where it can make the most difference. It enables us to be effective agents of change, rather than simply adding to the noise and confusion of the world. Now let's delve deeper into the concept of silent detachment. This isn't about becoming aloof or disconnected from the world. Rather, it's about engaging with the world from a place of inner stillness and clarity. Imagine you're watching a movie. You're fully engaged in the story, feeling the emotions of the characters, invested in the plot. But at the same time, there's a part of you that knows it's just a movie. This part can step back and appreciate the cinematography, the acting, the storytelling, without getting completely lost in the drama. So this is how we can engage with life when we master the art of non-reaction and silent detachment. We're fully present, fully engaged, but not swept away by every twist and turn of the plot. We can appreciate the beauty and complexity of life without being knowing of its ups and downs. This state of being is incredibly freeing. When we're not constantly reacting, when we're not entangled in unnecessary dramas, we have more energy, more clarity, more zest for life. We become more creative, more intuitive, more aligned with our true purpose. Think about the most inspiring people you know. Chances are they possess this quality of non-reactivity. They have a certain calmness about them, a centeredness that allows them to navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom. This is what we're cultivating with our practice. Now let's address another aspect of our theme, the idea of cutting off. This might sound harsh, but it's important to understand that cutting off isn't about rejection or judgment. It's about discernment and self-care. In life, we often accumulate relationships, habits, and situations that may have served us at one point but no longer contribute to our growth. Holding on to these out of a sense of obligation or fear of change can hinder our progress and drain our energy. Cutting off in this context is about having the courage to let go of what no longer serves us. It's about making space in our lives for new growth, new opportunities, new connections that align more closely with who we are becoming. And doing this silently, that's where real power lies. You see, when we make a big show of cutting someone off or leaving a situation, we're often still seeking validation or reaction from others. But when we do it silently, we're acting purely from our own truth, our own inner guidance. This silent cutting off is not about ghosting or being rude. It's about quietly redirecting our energy, shifting our focus without feeling the need to announce it to the world. It's a personal decision, a sacred act of self-care and growth. Now, I want to emphasize that this practice of non-reaction and silent detachment is not becoming passive or apathetic. It's not about disengaging from life or avoiding challenges. On the contrary, it's about engaging with life more fully, more authentically. When we're not caught up in reactivity, when we're not drained by unnecessary engagements, we have more energy and clarity to pursue what truly matters to us. We become more effective in our actions, more impactful in our contributions to the world. Think of it like martial arts. A skilled martial artist doesn't waste energy on unnecessary movements. They remain calm, centered, conserving their energy until the moment it's needed. Then their action is swift, precise, and effective. This is how we can move through life when we master non-reaction and silent detachment. Now, you might be wondering, how do I start practicing this in my daily life? Well, my friends, it starts with mindfulness. Start paying attention to your reactions. Notice when you feel the urge to defend, to explain, to engage in conflict. Don't judge these urges, simply observe them. Then practice pausing. When you notice a reactive urge arising, take a deep breath. Create a space between the stimulus and your response. In this space, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is engaging with this aligned with my highest good? If the answer is no, practice letting it go. This might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel the need to have the last word to prove your point. But I invite you to sit with this discomfort. Observe it without judgment. You'll find that over time, this discomfort transforms into a deep sense of peace and empowerment. Remember, this is a practice. You won't master it overnight. That's okay. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories, the times when you chose not to react, the times when you silently walked away from something that wasn't serving you. As you continue this practice, you'll start to notice changes. You'll find yourself less affected by the opinions and actions of others. You'll feel a growing sense of inner peace and clarity. You'll become more attuned to the more inner wisdom, more aligned with your true purpose. You'll also notice changes in your relationships. As you become less reactive, you'll attract people and situations that match your new energy. You'll find yourself surrounded by more positivity, more authentic connections. Now let's talk about the ripple effects of this practice. When you master the art of non-reaction and silent detachment, you're not just changing your own life, you're positively impacting the world around you. Now think about it. How often do conflicts escalate because of reactive behavior? How often do misunderstandings spiral out of control because people are too quick to react, too eager to vent their position? By choosing non-reaction, by cutting off negativity silently, you're breaking these cycles of conflict and negativity. You become a calm presence in a chaotic world. Your non-reactivity creates a space for others to pause, to reflect, to choose a different response. In this way, you become a catalyst for positive change without having to preach or impose your views on others. Moreover, as you practice conserving your energy, as you become more discerning about where you invest your time and attention, you'll find you have more to give to the things that truly matter. You'll be more present for your loved ones, more effective in your work, more impactful in your contributions to society. This, my friends, is the true power of don't react. Cut them off silently. It's not just a personal practice. It's a way of being that can transform our relationships, our communities, our world. Now, as we near the end of our exploration, I want to remind you that this journey of non-reaction and silent detachment is ongoing. It's not a destination we reach, but a path we walk every day. There will be times when you react, times when you get caught up in the drama of life. And that's okay. The key is to notice these moments without judgment, to gently guide yourself back to your center. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress, growth, a gradual shift towards a more peaceful, more empowered way of being. Each time you choose not to react, each time you silently cut off something that no longer serves you, you're strengthening this new way of being. As we conclude, I invite you to take a moment to reflect. Think about the areas in your life where you tend to be reactive. Think about the relationships or situations that drain your energy. How might your life change if you applied the principle of don't react, cut them off silently to these areas? Imagine the sense of peace you'd feel, no longer being at the mercy of others' actions or opinions. Imagine the energy you'd have, no longer wasting it on unnecessary conflicts or draining interactions. Imagine the clarity you'd gain, being able to see life from a higher perspective. This, my dear friends, is the gift you give yourself when you master the art of non-reaction and silent detachment. It's a gift of peace, of power, of profound alignment with your true self. So I encourage you as you go forth from here to carry this wisdom with you. Practice non-reaction. Choose silence when it serves you. Have the courage to cut off what no longer contributes to your growth. Remember, you don't need to announce these choices to the world. Your energy, your presence will speak volumes. In doing so, you're not just changing your own life, you're contributing to a more peaceful, more conscious world. You're becoming a beacon of calm in the storm of life, a living example of a different way of being. And so, my friends, I leave you with this final thought. In a world that constantly demands your reaction, your engagement, your energy, choose wisely. Choose peace. Choose silent strength. Choose to align with your highest self. For in this choice lies true freedom, true power, and the key to a life of profound meaning and joy. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. May you go forth with newfound wisdom, with the courage to practice non-reaction, and with the strength to silently cut off that which no longer serves you. Remember, the power is within you, the power to choose your response, to shape your reality, to live from a place of deep, unshakable peace. Embrace this power and watch as your life transforms in beautiful and unexpected ways.